My name is Jaleel Mackey. I am 29 years old, and I had the privilege of working with John Paul with his 3 programs, the 5-day emotional detox, the one-on-one breathwork teacher training, and the breathwork teacher training for couples and groups. And I have to say that it's been life-changing. I was introduced to breathwork while at a treatment facility for trauma and addiction. And I remember my first breathwork session coming out of that, knowing to myself that this was something that I wanted to teach other people because it was transformative in ways that I had never experienced in a couple decades of my life on this planet. And so when I left treatment, I had been searching for a teacher, the breathwork instructor who I trained under and was out of state, and so I randomly came across John Paul when I was watching the Heal Summit back, I think it was last fall, and in the time I, again was searching and was like thinking about how I can potentially make this a practice that I administer for others, and I learned that John Paul was teaching classes in the LA area and that he had online teacher trainings. I had just relocated to the Central California, Monterey Bay area, and I just had committed to the idea that I would be taking one of his classes in person. And I was a little bit resistant to the idea of doing the online courses, mainly because I believed in the personal experience of the practice, and every session I had prior to the online training had been in person. And I knew that there was something to that experience, and I didn't want to miss out on that. But then, of course, COVID happened, and I started to question whether or not I should be waiting. The opportunity to learn something that has been transformative for me was sitting in front of me, and I was waiting on it because it wasn't, quote unquote, the perfect situation as I thought. And so after COVID, I realized, again, that the time is now. There are billions of people on this planet who are afraid of breath. If I just take a moment to think about how breath work becomes, not only does it become a form of healing and the ability to digest grief becomes apparent and available to someone who practices breath work, but I'm also beginning to think of breath work as more of a peaceful protest. Because with COVID and with the civil unrest of the world and black and brown men and women dying at the hands of violence, and oftentimes most of them due to asphyxiation, we're hearing this chant, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe." And how incredibly potent is the idea that we could teach someone how to breathe properly and how they can use their breath to move past the trauma of their existence, and how we can teach someone to use their breath to digest the grief and the pain that not only are they experiencing, but the rest of the planet. And so I am infinitely grateful to John Paul for making this information and making these practices available to as many people as possible through the online courses. And I already have my first clients. I'm doing one-on-one sessions. I have a group session I'm launching here in 2 weeks, and I am jumping in with both feet. And I'm looking to give this to as many people as far and wide as possible. And I just wanted to say thank you for that, for JP and the team, for making this possible for me, because it has given me purpose in a lot of ways. And what more can I ask for from a training? So thank you.